In the last episode, we secured promotion to Sky Bet League One as champions. In this episode, we do an end of season review and a transfer special, and we've been given £2.4 million to spend in a transfer budget. This should be a lot of fun. Okay, so before we actually get into the transfer special and the end of season review, please leave a like on the video. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already. And we've got a bit of a situation because I've gone forward in the game a little bit and we don't seem to be getting an end of season review. Yet if we go to the inbox, we've got things like the scouting budget, the commercial summary and all that come through that you usually only get if or once the end of season review's happened. So in terms of the commercial summary, as you can see, sponsorship has gone down, broadcast revenue has gone down. Corporate and hospitality, competition prize money and match day commercial and retail have all gone up. Total merchandising sales for the season were £135,000, with non-domestic sales amounting to 13.5k of this total. Now, we have been hit with a tax bill 1.1 million. We've got here as well, the release clause leaves Colchester scrambling to secure JOURNEYMAN low future. He's actually considering his options at the end of his contract, so he won't sign a new contract with us anyway. He is currently here until the end of next season, and I'm debating whether I want to try and generate some interest in getting him out of the club, because if you look at his playing time, his agreed playing time is an important player. So we might have a bit of a problem, because when we look at our tactic, what I've done here is anyone that is going to be staying is currently here either in the team or on the subs bench. So we've got Ben Briggs on the bench because Jay Mengi occupies that position, so on and so on. So basically these are the players that are staying for next season, and these are all the players that will be leaving when their contracts expire. So what I'm looking at here is I want a better goalkeeper than Teddy Sharman Lowe, even though he has been our best player this season. I do want an improved goalkeeper. We need a better striker. I am undecided with Sam Smith whether I should offer him a new contract. He's 30 years old. He's not really... I don't think he's good enough to stay here, even though he's got, in the Sky Bet League 2, 22 goals in 42 starts, 44 appearances. His numbers actually make me look like I'm being quite harsh on him. So I am considering he may be worth keeping around as a backup. And if you look here, his agreed playing time is a fringe player. So I think, in fact, that's what we're probably going to do. So let's enter contract negotiations with his agent, Ella Saunders. She has no relationship with us. And we're keen on renewing Sam's contract. He's highly interested in staying at Colchester. Since all parties would like to do a deal, here's a full state of play. So he wants 3.9 to 4.8k a week. Let's contest that 3.5 to 4.3. So we'll agree for now. So he wants quite a significant pay rise. So let's enter contract negotiations. And he's got here important player. That's not what you currently are at the moment. So this might not be going... No, we're walking away. This isn't going anywhere. We're not going to have him as important player, then he comes moaning to me every single 20 days or so that we're not playing him. Okay, so what we will do is we'll have a look at the stats for the season, seeing as the end of season review doesn't seem to be working. Sam Smith's their top goal scorer with 28 goals. Teddy Sharman Lowe's their highest average rating with 7.04. Jaden Fevrier and Noah Chilvers both have 11 assists apiece. Ethan Gilbrave pass completion of 88%. He's only a lone player who's going to be leaving us. Sam Smith, 7 player of the match awards. Most yellow cards, Jay Mingy, Fevrier, Heffernan and Smith, all with 7 yellows. And the Naughty Boys Club is Jay Mingy and Ethan Gilbrave. I mean, he's been quite eventful considering he's not really been with us for all that long. And yeah, we finished top of the table, 6 points clear of Torquay. In the automatic places by 11 points clear of Cambridge. Exeter have gone up in the playoffs, as you can see. If we look at the squad, and let's have a look at the assists, for example. See, we had, as you see, we had Chilvers and Fevrier with 11 assists, and then McGeehan, to be fair to, has got 10 assists, even though I kind of dropped a bit towards the end of the season. And then Morgan, and presumably that's Josh Smith. Yeah, Josh Smith in there as well. Josh Smith's looking like a really talented player for us. I'm quite looking forward to seeing how he progresses as we move up into League One. In terms of myself, I have applied for my Continental A licence, and I'm now studying for that. And when we look at the fact that we've got a transfer kitty of 2.4 million, the reason why that is such a huge thing is, as you can see on this screen here, I've brought in 40 players during my time on this bottoms up save. I've not spent anything on a transfer value. We have brought in 2.4 million into the club through 19 players going out. Rest of that there, if you want to have a read of it, pause the screen now and give it a little read. If we go back to our inbox, I think we covered most of this. Changes to stadium ticket prices. So the average ticket price is going up by £3 to £30. It's an increase of 11%. A 10% increase in the average season ticket price, up to 534 from 482. The projected yearly earnings, though, are going to be down by 13%, which I don't really understand. If you're raising your prices, why your projected yearly earnings are going down. We have a capacity of 10,000. We currently have 1,737 season ticket holders. If we look at how the club thinks of us, the board, A-, they're absolutely delighted with everything we're doing at the moment, and the supporters, not quite as happy, but they're still happy, B+. Overall, supporters are very pleased with the job you're doing. We then look at dynamics, everything's fine in there, team cohesion is very good, club atmosphere is very good, managerial support is very good. Sam Smith wants a new deal to reflect stability, but he's leaving in a few days' time anyway. What I've also done is, with the scouting budget, we've not really had any actual... Here it is. We've never had any scouting range before. But seeing as we've got a scouting budget here, we have actually allocated £120,000 of the 134 to scout the UK and Ireland. So hopefully we'll get some good players coming through from there. 1st of July is some time away at the moment. If we look at transfers, because in the last episode we did put in bids for these 3 players that were released from their Premier League clubs. We've got Christopher Shepherd from Arsenal. He's a central defender that can play out on the right way. He's probably a right-sided defender, can play in the middle. We'll probably not use him in the middle because he's only 5'11", not got very good jumping reach or heading. So we'll probably play him out here. He's more of a backup going into our under 21s or whatever. Just a little treat, really, I suppose. Same with all 3 of them. But yeah, he's 18 years old, from Trinidad and Tobago, 2 stars current ability, potentially 5-star potential. So let's see if we can try and nurse him through a little bit. Then we've got Kyle Brown from Manchester United, who is a 6'5" centre-back with 14 jumping reach, 11 heading. He's got good tackling and reasonable marking as well. He could actually be more of a player for us than the other chap, Christopher Shepherd, I think. He's 2 stars, central defender anyway. He's someone we might have on the subs bench, bring him in, give him a little bit of game time here and there. He can use both feet, prefers the left side, of course. And then we've got Anthony De Cordova, who is another centre-back, 6'2", not as good as the other chap, but still, Jamaican guy. Does have plenty of potential. He can play all across the back 3. That's one of the reasons why I really brought him in, because he can play anywhere across that back 3, really, to a bit of a standard. So yeah, them 3 youngsters will be joining us on the 13th of June, and that's the first bit of business we've done. If we have a look in our scouting centre, now I'm not just going to be throwing money around just for the sake of spending it, but we did have Patrick Roberts popped up before. He can play out on the right, 3-star, can play in the middle. I am training a 4-2-3-1 version of the Gegenpress. He can play out on the left. He's 31 years old, so he's not really someone I tend to go for. And if you look at his figures for Sunderland from 2021 to 2028, only 17 goals in 185 appearances doesn't really suggest he scores many goals. If you look at the squad comparison down here, he is actually better than what we've already got on the right-hand side. That's where he's being compared to, not the left. And he's already better than February and Luca Thomas. So I'm debating it, but I'm probably not going to end up going for him. If we then go to our actual scouting centre, and like I said, I want a goalkeeper. That is one of the top priorities for me. We'll leave that as any, don't really matter. I want him to be no older than 28, any contract status. We'll filter it by scout recommendations. In terms of goalkeepers, we've not really got a great deal on here, actually. So we might not be making much of an impact, but we'll see what we get come through as it goes on. And what we can also do is we can see if we can create a recruitment focus. We've got that already there. So let's see if we can create a recruitment focus for a goalkeeper. Want them on transfer. Minimum 2, we'll leave that as it is for the moment, even though we do want better than that. No older than 28, any area standard. Scouts are busy with other tasks, so results will take time. That's not ideal. We'll keep it standard for the time being, and we'll include results from other areas. Now, what I am hoping is that once it ticks over to the new season, we might be able to get more staffings. We have actually only got 2 scouts and a chief scout. What we can obviously do is we can go to our director of football. We can ask him to suggest a goalkeeper for transfer. Let's see what he comes up with. So he's got Aaron Alonso, 22 years old. No scouts available. I mean, if we compare him to Teddy Sharman Lowe, at the overview of it, so Teddy Sharman Lowe's a lot better distribution and aerially. He's also better communication and mentally. I'm not really sure that's really much of a improvement, to be honest. Then we've got Andoni Zibuer. I think that's how you say his name anyway. Let's have a look at the comparison with him. So Teddy Sharman Lowe's in the blue. Again, Teddy Sharman, other than speed, I mean, the guy's quite quick. Other than speed, he's not really got a great deal going for him. And Ashley Maynard Brewer. Again, we compare with Sharman Lowe. Sharman Lowe's in the blue. I mean, he does look like he could be a little bit better. If we have a look at the attributes. So for their goalkeeping attributes, the average is 10 for both of them. For the mentals, their average is 10 for both of them. And physicals, Maynard Brewer is slightly better. So that's quite interesting. So he's at Chesterfield at the moment. His contract expires at the end of next month. Let's get a scout report on him because he's local, so we can get a scout report on him. The other 2 would have to pay to get a scout report for those, so we probably won't do that. Let's see if they want to, if there's any loaned goalkeepers we could potentially be looking at. So Man City under 21s, I mean, they usually have good players, don't they? Connor Berry. Let's get a scout report on him. And what we'll probably do is add him to our default shortlist. We'll do the same with him as well, actually. We'll add him to our default shortlist. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Okay. So, yeah. I'm going to have a look around. Have a look at the scouting centre, director of football recommendations, that kind of thing, to see what we can get suggested for us. If we have a look at striker as well. 28, blah, 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 blah. It's filtered for the recommendations. We've got some A pluses here. Mason Burstow is a target forward. 3-star current ability, 4-star potential. He would be available on a free transfer. If we look at his history, he played 4 or 5 years ago on loan at Sunderland, playing 16 games and not scoring. Played many years ago, 7 appearances, 2 goals for Charlton. And since moving to Crystal Palace has done absolutely nothing. So not really too sure on him. Derek Roster of Exeter, I'm not really keen on taking another player from one of our own rivals. We want to do better than that. So we've got here Abina Taiwu of Mansfield, who's very aggressive. His physicals are not bad. They're not amazing, but they're not bad. He's 2-footed. If we have him up top, he can be an advanced forward, pressing forward, which does suit us. But his technicals are absolutely naff. And what's this one here? Needs to work on being more consistent. He's 19 years old. He's got oodles of potential, but we're looking for a finished article at the moment. So if we just filter this by current ability, Mason Burstow is probably the better of those. And then we've got Gerard Buwabo, who's again out of contract this summer. He's only got a finish of 9. He's got good jumping reach and good natural fitness. But yeah, that's not really... He's done nothing for Ipswich in the 3 years that he's been there. So he's not played any football for 3 years. I mean, he had a good time there with Torquay in the Vanarama South, but we're in League One. Okay, I'm going to have a good look through. I'm going to see what we can find with our scouts. And I'll come back to you when we've got a bit of news. We have an end of season review. I thought we'd missed it. I thought the game weren't doing it, but no, it does. Here we go. Let's have a bit of a whiz through this thing, because we've already done a little bit. So transfers in, we've got Ethan Bristow. They're happy with him at B+. I think he has been a really good signing, actually, Ethan Bristow from Minnesota. Ethan Galbraith, they are delighted with him. He's only made 11 appearances. He's done well, to be fair, apart from a red card. Albie Morgan, I've been really happy with, and so have they. Shea Ojo, they're pleased, mainly due to the player helping the team to meet the squad registration rules. Darren Rye has been invaluable for us. It's such a shame that he's leaving, but he's also probably not of a good enough calibre for us to be able to keep him around. Zayn Tahir, they've been pleased with him, but he's not really done anything with us. Luca Thomas, again, they are delighted with me. He's a star signing according to the board. He's got potential, there's no doubt about that. And Sidey Peck, I mean, he made like 5 substitute appearances. The whole deal looks to be very good value for money. They really need to change this. I know I say this in every end of season review, but can we please have this where it's not just that was good value for money, that was poor value for money. Surely if a player has played really well for us, that's got to be taken into consideration, but it never is in that. So I'm a bit disappointed. Then we look at the transfers out. I mean, we're not going to go through every single one of them verbally, but we'll just quickly skip through and see what... I mean, that one there, Joe Ward. The board are content with the deal to sell Joe Ward. I was thinking, right, I got 1.2 million for him. And, I mean, they weren't happy with that, apparently. Should have got a transfer fee for the player. Oh, well, tough luck. You didn't. I mean, there's loads of them there. They're probably not going to be happy with any of them, to be quite honest, because we didn't get money for them. So if we look at the season to remember, reached the Sky Bet League 2 playoffs was the aim. We finished first. 44% of our stadium was full, the average attendance anyway. Sam Smith, top goal scorer, A+. They're absolutely delighted. In terms of the FA Cup, I was really happy with it. The only thing I weren't happy about is the fact that we got drawn at home against Arsenal. But a 3-2, 5-goal thriller against Arsenal, I think we more than held our own in that game there. So we can be very proud of our FA Cup efforts this season. Jaden Feather and Sam Smith were top scorers in the FA Cup. In the Carabao Cup, Heffernan and Smith, 2 goals each were their top scorers. We lost away from home to Leicester City. And the Bristol Street Motors Trophy, yeah, it is what it is. I really couldn't care less about that competition, quite honestly. Moments to remember, the biggest win was their 5-0 win against AFC Fylde. A match to remember was a 2-1 win away from home against Cambridge. And the goal of the season was Albie Morgan in the 3-1 win over Rochdale. This we've already been through. I'm not sure why it's not giving me the names of the people that have sold the shirts, which it usually does do. Then how you lined up. So they're saying their best team was Sharman Lowe, Bristow and Egbo in the wing-back positions with Ryan Andrews in the middle. Don't really argue about that. Mingy, McGeehan and Chilvers. I'll give him it. I mean, I slightly doubt that one. Ojo, Fevre and Smith up top. Yeah, absolutely got to give him that as well. Then we look at the accolades. I had the Sky Bet League 2 Manager of the Month in August and December. I've also had the Sky Bet League 2 Manager of the Season. In terms of the player awards, Cameron McGeehan for our high. I mean, we've been through this really, but that's what it is in case you want to see it. And then the record breaker, Sam Smith broke the record for the top goal scorer with 28 goals in a season. 11 assists and no Chilvers is a new record. Sharman Lowe's 26 clean sheets is a new record. And Sam Smith's 7 player of the matches is a new record as well. History in the making. Everything is won and lost in the heart of every season, and that's been the case for Colchester as they celebrate winning promotion. That's Golden from Sport Bible, Golden Frame. And the manager timeline, the dynamic manager timeline, or whatever they're calling it these days, maybe just the manager timeline. I'll play through it for you. You can pause the screen if you really want to do anything else with it, but I don't pay any attention to this, to be quite honest. I think it's probably the most pointless part of it. So that's all of that. Sporting Last FA Cup review. Yeah, so there you go. We actually did get the end of season review. I feel it's probably a little bit later than normal, but better late than never, I suppose. Okay, I'll come back when we've got some more transfer news. Okay, so it's the 13th of June and the transfer window has opened. 3 of these you would have already been expecting anyway, with Carl Brown, Anthony D. Cordova and Christopher Shepherd have already been through that. B-, B and B-. We've also brought in a 30-year-old fullback, Tom Pearce. The assistant report is 3.5 star. If we actually take a look at him, he looks pretty good. I'm not always in favour of bringing in players 30 and over, but he does look pretty good. He plays on the left-hand side. He can get a good cross into the box as well. So if we go to our tactic, I mean, I feel a little bit sorry for Ethan Bristow because he's not really done a great deal wrong. But if we bring Tom Pearce up a little bit and then pop him into here, that's straight away an improvement to our defence. Absolutely delighted with that. What I also need to bring you up to speed on is this gentleman here, Sam Smith, has signed a new contract with us. I did give him a new contract in the end. It's on £4,000 a week for 2 years. If we look at our squad, at our highest earners, we have Cameron McGee. This guy is really annoying me because he's got a match highest earner clause. So he's now got up to £5,000 a week. He was previously on 3.9 thousand. So he's had quite a... In actual fact, what I might do is might see if we can get something for him, because... So 140 to 250, 160 to 240, 108. So if we select this gentleman here, tomorrow afternoon, we're not in a mad rush, we can't wait till tomorrow afternoon. But let's see if we can get something in for Cameron McGeehan, because then that'd be £5,000 off the wage bill, and I'm sure we can get, you know, he's only going to be back up for me anyway. I'm quite happy to move him on. So yeah, Tom Pearce comes in as our highest earner. Sam Smith is now our second highest, or will be our second highest earner on £4,000 a week. And yeah, that is the start of the transfer window. So the next time you see me will most likely be, let's just welcome our new signings. But yeah, after this, the next time you see me will most likely be the 1st of July, when free transfers become a thing. We have paid a slight transfer fee for him, for Tom Pearce. If we go into the transfer section, we've also got Manuel Pisano. He was an intermediary recommendation. He made 2 appearances and scored 1 goal for Bayern Munich last season, so he's clearly no slouch. He's coming in as a 3-star current ability to 3.5-star potential ability striker, 22-year-old Italian. He's got his work permit all sorted out. We're just waiting for him to join. He joins us on the 1st of July. So we'll do the proper hellos when we see him then. And yeah, I will see you on the 1st of July. Okay, so it's the 20th of June and Cameron McGeehan is on his way out the door. £190,000. The board have agreed that £54,000 will be added to the transfer budget on completion of the deal. It's not a massive amount of money that we're getting for him, but 190,000, 190,000, and it frees up £5,000 on the wage budget as well. In terms of current transfers, this guy here, the goalkeeper, Ashley Maynard Brewer, we've put in an offer for him, a free contract, but there are about 5 other clubs interested in him. If we click on him and have a look at who's wanted, so St Mirren, Newcastle Jets and Wellington Phoenix, we might get him, we might not, who knows, we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully we do, because he does look a good goalkeeper. And Sharman Lowe, we're trying to get a shot of him as well. He's handed a transfer request. We're happy to let him go. Let's see what happens with that one. In the meantime, I'm still on the lookout for players. We're getting ever closer to the 1st of July. And if we have another look in our scouting centre, I mean, we've got Will Armitage here, who's a centre-back. Can do the central defender, ball-playing defender, reasonable passing. He's out of contract. He actually looks a really good player. He's not really done a great deal at Cardiff. He doesn't like important matches, but he is very consistent. So that is a plus. Oh, hang on. We need to speak to his agent first. I keep forgetting about that. He's slightly interested. Between 2 to 2.8k. I mean, if that's all he wants, then he can have it, quite frankly. Important player, yeah, he will be. Sell on, I don't want to sell on fee. And that, I will only ever give 20% for that. We'd take out, well, actually, we won't take out that new substitute things. We're planning on playing him anyway. He's probably going to up his thing from 2.3 to probably closer to £3,000 now. 2.5, okay. I mean, I'm not too disheartened by that, to be honest, if that's what we end up getting him for. There you go, 2.3. So if nobody else comes in for him, and that's a big if because that's usually what does happen, then I will be pleased with that as a signing, because that improves our central defence. He'll go in here somewhere. It'll be similar level to Tom Pearce. Yeah, happy days. Okay, let's get forward and I'll come back to you again in a minute. Okay, so it's the 1st of July, free transfer time, and we've got 3 players to bring in. So we've got Ashley Maynard Brewer, the goalkeeper. He did choose to come to us. That's awesome news. He will go straight in as our number 1 goalkeeper. We've got Will Armitage, 23-year-old central defender. I am a bit dubious at the fact he's only 5'10", but he's rated really quite well, actually, so I'm quite happy with that transfer. And Manuel Pisano, the striker that we showed you about before, he also comes in. So if we go to our tactics screen, we've got injuries coming in, but thankfully most of them have now left. So Maynard Brewer will go in at the top there and is an improvement. Then we have Will Armitage as our centre-back. I need to actually check what feet he's got. Oh, he's got 2 feet, that's fine. So Will Armitage for Frankie Edwards is a slight improvement as well. And Manuel Pisano, we finally have a striker. That says 2.5 star. What does he prefer to be? He prefers to be an advanced forward. Fine, you can be an advanced forward. So we've got a few improvements in the squad. We're starting to get there. Frankie Edwards would come in on a subs bench there. We'll just bunk Kai Martin around here for now. There's obviously a lot of squad building need to be done. One thing that is a slight concern is we had something come through about financial fair play. We're passing it. There's no problem with that. But if we actually look at the summary, it says up here, Sky Bet League 1 FFP regulations require the club to keep player wage expenditure below 83k per week. The club are currently spending 60k per week on player wages and so are currently complying with the regulations. So as things stand at the moment, we've got 23,000 we can spend. So I did go into here and I moved a bit of transfer budget into wage budget. That's the closest I could get it to the 83. This is saying our committed spend is 74, but I think we will go by what this says because this has got it 14,000 lower. So I can only imagine 14,000 is on homegrown under 21 players and things like that. that it says about here. So, yeah, bit uncertain about that because I don't want to be breaking financial fair play regulations. It doesn't say anything about not being able to get promoted or anything like that, or us getting not that we're looking for promotion, by the way. In actual fact, talking of which, if we go into the season preview, and as you said, we've moved up. We were actually down here when I looked at it before the 1st of July. So we've moved up here. We have Swindon, Exeter, Torquay, all in their first few games. We also have Peterborough, and I think we might have Bradford. Let's have a look at the schedule. Yeah, Bradford. So we have Reading in the Carabao Cup first round. So we have Swindon, Peterborough, Bradford, Exeter and Torquay in our first 5 games. And when you look at that, that potentially, providing they don't shoot up the table as well because they do excellent business in the transfer market, looking at that, we could be having a pretty nice start to the season, which would be good. It'd be good to get some confidence in us. If we look at dynamics, cohesion's still good, club atmosphere is good, managerial support's good. I did have a notification come through about McGeehan leaving. They're not happy. It's an E rated from the fan. He remains a favourite and will be missed around the club. At the moment, I've not had anything come in from the players, so hopefully that stays the way it is. Who's Velasquez? He's making a lot of offers, this man. I don't really think I want him, so I'm going to withdraw the contract offer for him. I have to keep an eye on my director of football. I like the fact that he's making bids for players, and we've got some staff that we let go that we're now going to be recruiting for. And talking of which, we have also been given an extra 2 recruitment analysts and an extra performance analyst that we can hire. So we're on the lookout for all of that as well. We've also got another coach that we can have, so we're on the lookout for all of that. So there's plenty for me to get my teeth into. We've got the email clubs release players. I don't think we'll be able to get any of them come to us, especially on the amount of money we've got available. But we start our league, first league games on the 29th of July. So we've got a little over 3 weeks before the start of our Sky Bet League One campaign. And when you look at this, we've still got some business to do. If we go to our squad planner, in goal, I mean, Maynard Brewer needs to be moved up because he's going to be our number 1. On the left-hand side, we've got Bristow, we've got Pearce. Egbo can play over there as well, but we currently don't have enough depth over on the right. Here, who's Connor Masterson? He's at Cheltenham. And he's not... Why have we got him on our squad planner? Let's get rid of him. Frankie Edwards is not here either, is he? Oh, yes, he is. See, I do know who we have. Carl Brown is one of our youth team players. So on the left-hand side, we will have Armitage over there. We'll take Heffernan out of there because he won't be playing on that side. Then we've got Frankie Edwards. Egbo won't play in there either, so we'll take him out. Carl Brown is the other. So we've got 2 centre-backs for this side. Heffernan's there. We'll take Masterson out again. We'll take Egbo out again. We'll take Armitage out because he won't be playing on this side. So the fact we've got Frankie Edwards on both sides means we do still need at least 1 more centre-back. Then maybe we use Carl Brown as a backup. If we add from our under-21s, best suited, we've got Christopher Shepherd. And we've got the other guy as well, James French. So, oh, didn't want to do that. So yeah, they're in that order as well. If we have a look over here, Cathal Heffernan, we'll take him out of there because we're not going to be playing him there. Don't know why it's got that, but it is what it is. You do you. Anthony D. Cordova, when they're not players that we would want to be relying on, don't get me wrong. Christopher Shepherd, probably be in that order actually. So yeah, Shepherd's picked up and what is his injury? 7 days to 3 weeks. So they're the backup youth options there. But really we need another centre back that can either play left or right, and we need a right back as well, unless we are going to put faith in these. That won't be our primary aim at the moment, because Heffernan technically could play over there. And what we've also got that isn't added to that at the moment, where's our, is he under 18 still? Yeah, there he is. Gruff Waters. He played for a bit for us last season, made a couple of appearances. I mean, he needs to improve a lot, don't get me wrong. You can play both feet, play with both feet, I should say. So let's add him in to here. Gruff Waters, there you go. And yeah, Carl Brown, I think, is probably the most exciting prospect we've got. In terms of defensive midfield, we've got Jay Mingy, Ben Briggs, Noah Chilvers. Need to get rid of all of these that are not even at the club. So we've got 3 players that can play here. Ben Briggs is probably the more suitable backup option. Then wow. Let's get rid of all of these. Sam Halls, who is a 20-year-old, he's in there under 21s. Yep. Don't know why he's in there. Let's take him out of there. Kai Martin is really a winger, so we won't be including him in that. However, Josh Ben Briggs, Noah Chilvers, Jay Mingy. So really for here, we're looking at Albie Morgan being our number 1 option. Noah Chilvers would be a number 2, and then the rest of them after that. I don't mind having Josh Smith. Oh, hang on. What's going on here? Albie Morgan's meant to be a number 1. Let's untick that. Noah Chilvers is a number 2. Josh Smith will have as number 3. These 2 won't really play in there, but they can, but they're more for this position here. Let me look over here. Let's take out all the ones we don't want. All the ones that don't matter. Sam Halls can come out. Kai Martin can come out. So we've got Albie Morgan in the deep line playmaker role, which means we'd probably have Noah Chilvers in the box-to-box role. I mean, the good thing is Albie Morgan can play in all of these positions. So Josh Smith is in there as well. So we probably need to look at adding either a box-to-box or a deep line playmaker. I'm more looking for a box-to-box, to be honest. On the left, Matos, no, he's not here. Kai Martin can stay there. Luca Thomas can stay there. Sam Halls can come out. So on the left, we tend to play Shea Ojo on the left hand. I'm looking to improve all of the front line, to be quite honest. And yeah, that's probably what we're looking at there. Alex Matos can come out. Fevre plays on the right. Josh Smith, Kai Martin, then Shea Ojo, Luca Thomas, not Sam Smith. Then up top, we'd take Shea Ojo out, take Matos out. I don't know who this Matos guy is, to be honest. He's obviously someone I've had an interest in at some point. So striker-wise, with Pisano and Sam Smith, and then the fact we've got backup options, we could be okay. So looking at it at the moment, we need a centre-back, a right-back, a box-to-box midfielder, and then if we can, improve these winger positions. So if we then go into our scouting section, have a look at the players we've got, filter it by recommendations. Let's untick that, do that. We want a ball-playing defender. What are they? There's only actually a few that we've scouted. So Billy Gee, they've got us as an A-, but we don't actually have any scouting information on him. So looking at him, he's 6'1". I mean, it don't look great, I've got to be honest. If we compare him with Cathal Heffernan, he seems to be my go-to comparison. So Cathal Heffernan is better in a few. They seem very similar. we'll see what the scout report comes back on. Josh Robinson. Now, he could be someone worth bringing in because he can play in the middle, but he can also do out on the right. He doesn't really like being a wing back, but we could probably change that to a full back. He's got 2 feet. He actually seems quite reasonable with tackling. He's not really much good going forward, has to be said. But again, we'll see what scout report comes back for him. Then Ed Turns. Now, he can play anywhere across there. So over here, he's 3 stars a wing back, 3-star ball playing defence. You know, I actually quite like him. He's probably never going to play centre back for me because he can't head or jump. But I actually quite like him as an option. And if we ask agent about availability, be considered one of the most noteworthy players at the club. He wants to strengthen the goalkeeping ahead of the first 2 scores. I don't. Right, let's have a between 4 to 5k. Let's see what he wants because long-term aims of the club get lost. I mean, I'm running the risk that he's going to be upset because we're not giving you a sell-on fee. That can be locked in as 20. We're not going to do an unused substitute fee because you will be a substitute. Let's see if he's probably going to jump up to about 4.5. Oh, not too much to be fair. He's probably not going to be knocked down at all from that. He's going to stand firm at 4.3. Oh, there you go. He's accepted 4.1. If we get him in, I will be really happy with that because he can play, like I say, he can play anywhere along the back line. We've got another one here, Sam Sherrin, that can play anywhere along the back line. Let's get a scout report in on him. Spent a lot of time at Northampton. I mean, when you look at his career, he's been League One, League Two for most of it. I mean, he's actually at Bournemouth in the Premier League. He didn't play a single game for them. He hasn't played a single game in the Championship either, by the sounds of it. But, okay, so that's a couple of scout reports requested. That's a bid for a defender that can play anywhere along the back. So if we then now change this again and we have a look for our box-to-box midfielder. Again, we're not getting many options here. Dom Jeffries of Gillingham. I don't think he's going to be much use, to be honest, but we'll get a scout report on him. Even Curry. He's only 2 stars according to that. Teddy Jenks. Don't look too bad, to be fair. He's 2.5 stars. Not really what I'm hoping for. Let's have a look at what the loan market might have for us, because we could potentially get, if we look for the right club. I mean, really, we want someone from the Championship or maybe even the Premier League. Let's have a look with our director of football. We want midfield centre, box-to-box midfielder, loan. Who you got? Sheffield United under-21s, Roger Oxabrook. Let's get a scout report in for him. Again, he's quite aggressive, got a bit of a temper by the looks of it. He's got good stamina. I mean, for a box-to-box midfielder, he's not great with his long shots. But we'll see what comes in for him. Lee Thomas. I don't even think I'm going to bother getting a scout report for him. Okay, we're struggling to find some quality at the moment, but hopefully before the start of the season, we do get some more come in. I'll see you back here when we've got something. Okay, folks, we are basically the day before game day. We have our first game of the season tomorrow as it is in game, and tomorrow as it is in real life as well, against Swindon at home. If we look at the Sky Bet League One season preview, for how they think we will do. They think we're going to finish 13th. It's the highest we've been, 20-1 to win the league. So if you fancy a flutter, you know. At the end of the day, our aim is to avoid relegation. If we avoid relegation, we've had a successful season. If we finish mid-table, I will be absolutely thrilled with that. I really will be. It's been an eventful transfer window. Let's have a look at this. Are we still waiting on this guy? I don't think we are. We're waiting on a scout, but I'm sure his work permit got declined. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But in terms of transfer history, if we go back to last season, these are the three new guys that came. Tom Pearce is not a young player. He's 30 years old. Left back, good quality left back. He's around the same as Bristow, if not maybe a slight improvement. Then you've got Brown, D. Cordova and Shepherd, the youngsters that we could be seeing a little bit of this season. Nothing to report over that side. If we get into this season, then Cameron McGeehan left for £190,000. And we've brought in 8 new players, plus 9 if you include Tom Pearce, 12 if you include the youngsters. Quickly just go through them again. Pisano, you do know about. He's the striker we've got. Sam Smith is his backup option. He's been having a decent pre-season. I've been quite pleased with him. Ashley Maynard Brewer, really pleased with him as our new goalkeeper. Really, really pleased with that one, in fact. Will Armitage is one of the centre-backs we've got. He's 5'10", 23 years old. Got a bit of potential. The 5'10" bit does worry me, but we'll see. Ed Turns can play anywhere across the back. Does prefer to play in central defence. 6 foot. I thought he was just under 6 foot actually. Maybe he's grown a little bit. 25 years old. Not got any potential. He's going to be what he is. Then we have Rennie Mew, who's our only loan signing. He looks a player. He really does. 19 years old. 3.5-star current ability. 5-star potential. We're bringing him in as a ball-winning midfielder in this defensive midfield role that Jay Mingy played. So it has kind of kicked him out of the squad a bit, but he looks such a good player. His technicals are not amazing. I mean, he's got really good tackling, but his mentals and his physicals are really good, and hopefully he could be a good player for us this season on loan for the season. We'll just check that as well, because I know I did have it for the season. So it's got his expiring on the 9th of January. This has got to be a glitch in the game, because it come up 7 months. I changed it to 12 months. But now it's gone back to the 9th. Oh, this is so frustrating. Hopefully, if he's doing well with us, we're playing him, he can stay. Billy G is another centre-back, can also play in central midfield and defensive midfield role. He looks a reasonable player, 3-star, 3.5 potential, 22 years old. Ryan Hedges can play anywhere along the attacking midfield part. He can even play in these parts where he's a really versatile player. And he's going to come in to effectively replace Jaden Fevrier, but we're not telling Fevrier or Ojo about any of this. Very strong left foot. He's an inverted winger, so he will cut inside. Really happy with that signing. 33 years old, bit older than I'd like to go with. Aaron Collins, 31 years old, also a bit older than I'd like to go with, but he's better than Ojo. You know, he's better than Ojo. We'll have him as a winger. No, sorry, we're going to have him as an inside forward, so we will get the 3.5 out of him. No more potential. I mean, he's 31 years old. You wouldn't expect much more potential. Had a good 7 years with Bristol Rovers. So they're the players we've brought in. If we then have a look at our tactic on our squad, this is how we're looking at the moment. And I think, as you can see, there is quite a change from what you're going to be used to. And what I'm thinking actually is Ed Turns I might bring in instead of Will Armitage. So the way we're looking at lining up for the game against Swindon will be Maynard in goal, Pearce left back, Egbo right back, Turns and Andrews in the middle, Mew, Chilvers and Morgan in the midfield, Collins, Hedges out wide with Pisano up front. The one area I'm probably looking at still wanting to improve in is the deep line playmaker role. We have got room for one more player in terms of squad registration. What we do have an issue with, though, is the financial fair play side of it. We're passing it, no problem with that, but we do only have 3,000 away. So I think if we do find anyone that can come in and play this role to a better standard than Noah Chilvers, potentially Jay Mingy can come in there as well to the same standard. Josh Smith can come in there, a little bit of a drop down, but he's a youngster with potential. Ben Briggs probably could play in. I haven't really had a look. He can do a role in there. Again, he's much like Josh Smith. It's a drop down in star rating, but he has got the potential. Billy G. There's a few players that can play in there, but this is likely to be the team we're going to start off with. So if we look at it, we've got Andrews, Morgan, Chilvers, Egbo, that's 4, and that's it. 4 players from last season's squad still there. In terms of dynamics, our team cohesion is good, club atmosphere is very good, and managerial support is good. So yeah, that's pretty much what we've done. I will just criticise Frankie Edwards a little bit because his training's not been particularly good. And hopefully we have built a team that is going to be capable of keeping us in the Sky Bet League One. Please drop a like on the video, folks. I'd massively appreciate it. This has been such a headache of an episode. I thought having nearly 2.5 million was going to be lovely and blissful, and it's been a nightmare because the players that want that money, we can't afford their wages, especially when you've got this cap in League One. But yeah, drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, all that sort of wonderful stuff, and I'll see you tomorrow for the start of the new season. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.